Yo, Elliot. Yo, so today's question comes from our buddy Benjamin Berry. He goes on to say, yo, Elliot, I'm completely new to working out and have no idea where to start with nutrition and programming. I'm 35 years old, so I know it's gonna be an uphill battle because you're overhill, dude. But really, I wanna start lifting. It's just that nutrition and programming seems so daunting, in part because it seems like a lot of information all at once and because I only have a 7th grade education. So I'm not the best at studying. What do you think I should do? And how should I go about it? Dude, so you come to the right place, man, because I ain't a smart dude either. 7th grade education, not that bad. My dad has a 6th grade education, and he's the one that taught me everything I know. So I'm gonna make it real simple for you, man. I'm gonna give you one word to consider with regard to your training and nutrition. A lot of people are gonna say, Elliot, that's not the right phrase for nutrition, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna show you how to use it for both. The term is progressive overload. Now don't get too daunted. Progressive means just moving forward to progress, right? Overload means to put more than you can handle as a load, right? Over the load. So here's how we're gonna break it down with regard to training. I'm gonna tell you a little story real quick about a man named Milo. Apparently Milo was the very first strong man to be recorded in human history. And what Milo did was he carried a bull. Think about a bull. I live in the country now, right? I see these bulls. Big ass bulls, bigger than cows with big old horns and stuff. Milo used to carry these bulls around, he would pick them up over his shoulders and he'd carry them around. Now, I don't know if there's a mythological tale or true or whatever the case may be, but it's a good story to understand progressive overload. So what Milo did in order to be able to pick up that bull, think about how strong you gotta be. A bull's gotta be 1,000 pounds or something like that. Think about strong men who do yoke training, right? We can throw 1,000-pound yoke on our backs. You gotta be a big, strong, beefy badass to be able to carry a slab of beef on your shoulders, right, with horns. The way he did that, this was Milo's secret, progressive overload. Milo's secret was that when the bull was a baby, a calf, when the bull was a baby, he would start picking up the bull, right? So think about a baby bull is probably pretty damn small, right? Maybe 100 pounds, right? Maybe a little bit more. So he'd pick up that baby bull and he'd get underneath it, right? Like sometimes I do with my dog. I ain't gonna do it now. But stand him up, put him on shoulders, and walk around. We'll do that another time. Put him on the shoulder and walk around, right? So that's 100 pounds, maybe 200 pounds. But that bull does what? What does a bull do? It grows. Every day, that bull is getting a little bit bigger because he's feeding him, right? Till that bull is 1,000 pounds. But what Milo did was every single day, as the bull was getting bigger, he put that bull on his shoulders and he walked around. The moral of the story is that every single day, Milo was adding more weight to his shoulders in the guise form of this big ass bull. So that's how you understand the principle of progressive overload, and it's going to relate, like I said, to your fitness and to your training. So whatever, to your training and your nutrition. So whatever exercise you choose to do, right? Because I don't want it to be too daunting for you. I don't want you to get overloaded with your 7th grade education. Don't worry about it. Whatever exercise you do, right? Be it a squat or a deadlift or a bench press. And if you don't know what that is, YouTube's very helpful, right? You just want to make sure that from week to week, month to month, year to year, you're adding a little bit more iron to that bar like Milo did with beef on that bull. He fed the bull got bigger, he carried it anyway, right? So he had to rise to the occasion. Your body has to rise to the occasion. Your body will rise to the occasion when you progressively overload it with iron, right? You see these barbells back here? It's real simple. It's real simple, man. You don't even need a damn bowl. You just take these plates and you put one on, you add them up, right? If you don't know how to add, it's no big deal. Use a calculator, right? Calculators are everywhere. You got a phone, you got a cell phone, you got a calculator. You just gotta swipe down to the corner like this and the calculator's gonna come up. Add up the numbers, just write down the number, and then next week, see if you can add maybe a little bit more. You see these ones right here? I call these, Olympic weightlifters call this change. Right, I call them cookies, right? These little cookies. Just add a little cookie. My wife even, I bought her real little magnets that she could put on the end of the plates that are only 1.5 pounds each, 1.25 pounds each. So they're 2.5 pounds together, right? So the whole idea is, doesn't matter how small the increment, every single time you train, you want to add a little bit more, add a little bit more, add a little bit more. Now, I don't want to confuse you. I don't want you to get too mind-boggled, but you want to make sure that your body is catching up to the load that you're adding. So if you get to a particular point where you're using a weight that you start to crumble, you start to collapse, you start to feel like, whoa, I just can't handle it, it's okay. Back up and do something called stabilizing. Just stabilize that weight. Unlike the bull that's going to grow regardless, the barbells, you decide what you're going to put on. So no matter what's going on in terms of your body's ability to handle it, if you get to a point where you start to stale, you start to stall out, then stabilize that weight. That means stay with that weight for a couple weeks, right? Say you get to 200 pounds, you're like, boy, this is just a little bit too much. Stabilize it. Stay with that weight. Stay with that weight. Stay with that weight. Stay with that weight. Maybe add a few more reps. Stay with that weight until you're like, okay, now I think I'm ready. And you add 5 pounds, and you'll be amazed. Don't get daunted with the sets and the reps. I know there's a lot of principles therewithal that are important. They are important, but if you just choose a set rep scheme and you stick with it, especially since you're a newbie, newbies could get away with anything. Newbies could run the most bullshit program, crappy ass program, but with intensity, with consistency, and with progressive overload, he's gonna do well. Look, 3 sets of 10. You can't not get jacked with 3 sets of 10. As long as you're using that progressive overload principle, adding a little bit more each time, 3 sets of 10, 3 sets of 10, 3 sets of 10. Come back to me next year, right? After you're not a newbie no more, and then we could talk a little bit more about, different rep set parameters. But don't get too confused just yet. It's okay, 3 sets of 10. Progressive overload. Now, write that down. I hope that's simple. I hope you got that, because we're moving on. You're gonna use the progressive overload principle with regard to your nutrition too. And I'm not gonna give you too many things to think about with regard to your nutrition. I just want you to focus on one thing. It's called calories, right? Ever heard of calories? Calories, right? So you're gonna use the progressive overload principle with your calories. And you might say to yourself, Elliot, where do I begin with calories and macros and all that stuff? Honestly, don't even worry about the macros yet. Macros are important, just like sets and reps are important, but don't worry about it right now. You got a 7th grade education. You're just starting out, you're a newbie, it's okay, right? Don't get daunted, don't get confused, don't go watch other videos and say Elliot was wrong. Just follow me, bro, follow me. Follow me for 3 months. Do what I'm telling you right now, you're gonna see something change in your body. Something's gonna change in your body. So what you're gonna do is, you're gonna go to, I'll make it real simple for you, go to a website, right? You go to this website right here. It's called calculator.net, or you could just go into Google and look for BMR calculator. You see that? That's what you want. You want a BMR calculator. Don't worry about what BMR stands for. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. You're just gonna use it. You put your information in there, right? You put your age, you put your male, how tall you are, how much you weigh, and you hit calculate. And it's gonna tell you how much calories you need to just simply be, right? It means I'm not doing anything, I just wanna stay the same. He's gonna give you that number, and then you just make sure every day that you get that amount of calories using another app. Okay. It gets a little bit more complicated, but it's not that complicated. Download an app called MyFitnessPal. And just every time you eat something, you just put it in there, you just punch it in there. It's real simple. You can probably go on YouTube and you can see videos about how to use it. You punch it in there, and you make sure that the numbers add up to that BMR number, right? That's your baseline. That's like Milo when he was starting out with the cap. That's your baseline. Now, what you're gonna do is progressively overload your calories by adding 200 calories, right? For say 2 weeks, and you're gonna see your body grow a little bit. And then maybe 2 weeks later, you add another 200 calories, right? You keep just adding incrementally, progressive overload your calories with 200 calories above your BMR until you get to the point where you're feeling all right, right? Like me, I'm like as fat as I want to be right now, right? So I don't increase that anymore. When you get to kind of like as swole as you want to be, you just cut it off right there. You stop right there, and that way, you're lifting heavy, you're eating a lot, you're progressively overloading them both, and you keep growing stronger, bro. Done.